You're listening to Sacred Trash Talk. Dirtbag mysticism, goblin wisdom, and little chaos magic for your day. This month's episode, Anger Isn't the Enemy. How to work with anger without burning yourself alive. Anger is a big emotion. It's inconvenient, messy, a little bit feral. It has heat, power, teeth. And that's probably why we're told we shouldn't feel it. Anger can be dangerous if left unattended, but it doesn't have to be. The problem isn't anger itself, it's what we do with it. And not all anger is the same. Some of it is distorted, some of it justified, and some of it has the power to transform us. Like fire in a hearth or a dumpster blaze in the alley, anger is energy. Left wild, it consumes. Tended, it becomes warmth, fuel, even light. The difference is in knowing how to identify your anger, its source, and how to process it in healthy ways that fit the kind of anger you're feeling. Anger has flavors, textures. You're probably already subconsciously aware of this. It's the difference between getting cut off by some asshole in traffic when you're already having a bad day, that indignation when a friend or loved one breaches trust or boundaries, and that life-changing righteous fire in the face of trauma that pushes you to be better despite the challenges that have been put in your path. You know these feelings. We all do. They're familiar. But they're seldom talked about. And even rarer are frank discussions about what the hell you're supposed to do with those feelings. So let's talk about it. The 3 kinds of anger. Before you can figure out what the hell to do with that churning fire in your gut, you need to be able to put a name to it. You need to understand it. A simple, "Grr, I'm fucking angry," isn't enough to dispel it. Getting to the root of that anger is what will give you the power to take that heat and transform it. And yourself. Before you move on, pause for a breath. Picture the anger sitting in front of you. A small, unruly fire. What color is it? What shape? You don't have to put it out. Just see it. If you're a tactile little raccoon, scribble the first word that comes to mind on a scrap of paper and crumple it into a tiny ball. A containment charm. Distorted anger. This is probably the most common. It's that anger you feel when the barista got your coffee order wrong again, or when your boss gives the promotion you wanted to someone else. It's that growl in the back of your throat when everything feels like it's going wrong and the universe seems to be conspiring against you, specifically to piss you off. We've all been there. This is the trickster rage, the flare-up when you're tired, hungry, stressed, or when your brain is spinning stories that may not even be true. This is the garbage fire your brain lights when it's overclocked. Bright, brief, and mostly smoke. That anger is real. It's hot. It's immediate. It compounds on itself. It's a slammed door, a muttered epithet, a clenched jaw, white knuckles. This anger, though, is just a matter of perspective. We've all met people that appear unflappable. This kind of thing doesn't seem to touch them. It does. You just don't see it. When you catch this kind of spark, do something grounding and mildly ridiculous. Run cold water over your wrists. Growl quietly in the bathroom. Stick your tongue out at the mirror. The point isn't to suppress it, it's to break the spell long enough to see it clearly. Justified anger. Justified anger tends to be a slower burn, but no less intense. It lingers. It feels righteous. It's a matter of principle. This is the anger you feel when your values and someone else's clash, or when your boundaries aren't respected. This is the type of anger that we stew about. The kind that smolders under the pile of "I'm fine," like a coal waiting for air. We keep coming back to it, turning it over and over in our minds. It's like tonguing that little cut in your mouth periodically. You feel that throb and can't leave it alone. You try to let it go, but you keep circling back to it. Maybe you try to forget it, or gloss over it. Tell yourself, it doesn't matter, or it's not that big a deal, or I just need to move on. But something or someone will remind you of it, and you feel that low boil start all over again. This anger, as the name suggests, ultimately feels justified. You've been wronged, and you can't let that go. This anger isn't wild or petty. It's the fire that insists what happened mattered, whether you want it to or not. If this one's chewing a hole in your brain, write what happened on a note card. Underneath, write, "It mattered." That's it. You don't have to forgive, fix, or burn it. Just let the card sit on your desk for a day. Proof to your nervous system that someone finally took you seriously, even if it was just you. Transformative anger. This is often the type of anger people urge us to shift straight into forgiveness. This is what self-help gurus try to make every kind of anger become. Useful. Positive. Take a bad thing, find a silver lining, and let it make you stronger. That's not a bad instinct, honestly, but it's not a matter of one size fits all, and it's not necessarily about positivity at all costs. Transformative anger isn't about finding a silver lining. It's about taking things that happened to you and moving through them for your sake and letting them change you, but controlling how they change you. It's the kind that melts down the old scrap metal of your story and reforges it into armor. Trauma takes different forms. Maybe someone did something awful to you. Maybe it was unavoidable circumstances that resulted in a devastating loss of some kind. I can't guess what your specific trauma was, but what trauma in general has in common is that it comes with big feelings. Anger is usually one of them, and that's normal. The kind of anger that seems to seep into everything, like a bad smell you can't get rid of. Maybe you want this anger, maybe you don't. Maybe it feels like safety, maybe it feels like yet another thing that's out of your control. You don't know what to do with it, you just know it is, and you just want to reassert control over what you can. Transformative anger isn't about pretending the pain was a gift. It's the moment you decide that if you have to carry this fire, you'll use it to light your own way out. When you feel that kind of righteous fire, give it a job. Light a candle, stare straight into it, and tell it what it's for. You're going to fuel my boundaries, or you're going to melt the version of me that keeps apologizing. Fire listens when you're specific. That might sound silly, but try it anyway. It can't make things worse, right? But it could make them better. Snuff it with intention when you're done, like closing the lid on a lantern. Not denial, containment. Identify your anger. Anger can be a tricky emotion to deal with. It's easy to get focused on the heat of it and lose sight of the flavor and the cause. But before you can do anything with your anger, you have to know what you're dealing with. So, when you can't quite see the forest for the trees, where do you start? You start by identifying the kind of anger you're feeling. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes not. If you're struggling, try answering these questions. 1. What usually sets it off? A. Misunderstandings, small slights, or assumptions. B. real betrayals, harm, or injustice. Or C, a mix. I feel anger, but also see it pointing me toward change or boundaries. 2. How long does it linger? A, it flares up but fizzles once I calm down. B, it sticks for days, months, even years. Or C, long enough to move me to action, then it shifts. 3. What do you do with it? A, I vent or stew until I feel silly. B, I replay the hurt over and over. Or C, I channel it into action, creativity, or boundary setting. And 4, how does your body feel when it's there? A, tense, but settles after I cool off. B, like it's lodged in my chest, jaw, or stomach permanently. Or C, energized, like fuel I can direct. Don't think too deeply about your answers, just go with what your gut tells you. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, you don't even have to write it down, just take a beat and notice your patterns. When you've done that, take a beat and think about what emerged. If you answered mostly A's, you're probably feeling distorted anger. It's triggered by misperceptions or stress overflow. If you answered mostly B's, you're probably feeling justified anger. It's rooted in real harm or injustice. And if you answered mostly C's, you're probably feeling transformative anger, the fire that fuels growth and boundaries. Identify the source. Maybe you already know what kind of anger you're feeling, but you don't know why you're feeling it. That's equally common and equally valid. Anger can be murky and its causes unclear. So let's focus on the source. Finding the source of your anger is just as important to moving through it as knowing the type of anger you're feeling. Maybe you've been turning it over and over in your mind, and you're coming up empty. Here are some steps you can try that might help. Start with the body. Anger is first physiological. Racing heart, clenched jaw, tight stomach. Ask yourself, when did I first notice this in my body? What was happening right before? This can help you spot the trigger moment, even if your mind missed it. Use a feelings inventory. Sometimes anger is the cover story for another feeling. Ask yourself, if anger wasn't available, what else might I be feeling? Hurt, fear, shame, grief? Anger often rides on top of those, making them harder to see. You can timeline it. Write down the situation, emotion, thought, reaction. If you can't identify the thought, keep asking, what was running through my head, until something surfaces. Patterns start to show. Maybe you're angriest after being ignored, interrupted, or disrespected. Ask the resentment test. Resentment is stuck anger. Ask yourself, who or what do I secretly feel owes me something? That question often uncovers hidden sources. A parent who wasn't there, a friend who betrayed you, a boss who took advantage. Explore symbolic displacement. Sometimes we're furious about small things because they represent something bigger. For example, exploding over dirty dishes might actually be about feeling unappreciated. Ask yourself, what does this situation symbolize for me? A trauma-informed angle. If you find anger is disproportionate or vague, it may be linked to unprocessed trauma. Here's a safe journaling prompt. When else in my life have I felt this same kind of heat? If it echoes a past wound, that's worth exploring with a therapist or safe support system. Mindful witnessing. Sometimes the source won't reveal itself right away, but try just noticing. Anger is here. I don't know why yet. That's okay. This reduces the pressure to have perfect clarity before you can work with it. You don't need to solve the mystery in one sitting. Anger is like a raccoon rummaging in the dark, noisy, messy, and pointing you toward whatever scraps are left unresolved. The key is to stay curious instead of shutting the lid on the bin too fast. If you're still struggling with identifying the kind of anger you're feeling or where it's coming from, you might consider consulting a trusted friend or a skilled professional to help you untangle the mess. There's no shame in seeking help with processing difficult emotions. So, once you've identified the type of anger you're feeling and where it's coming from, what the hell are you supposed to do with it? Well, it's time to process the feeling. This is where a lot of people jump straight to forgiveness. It's framed as, if you forgive, you can move on. But it's not that simple. Anger is messy. Messy emotions require nuanced solutions, and processing them is a marathon, not a sprint. Not only that, but everyone's emotional landscape is different. Every situation is different. There is no one-size-fits-all answer to this, and there's no simple checklist that you can tick boxes off and say, all better, at the end. So I'm going to give you a few suggestions you can try, and maybe something will resonate for you. And if nothing does, don't worry. That doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you probably need a little extra help that this isn't suited to give. There's no shame in that. And if you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward only to take 3 steps back, that's also okay. Progress isn't always linear. Have faith in yourself. You can get through this. Show yourself the same kindness you would a friend going through the same thing. With that said, let's dive in. Regulate. Take a beat and give yourself a pause in the moment when you feel that surge of anger. Try a quick breathing exercise. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold for 6. Exhale for 8. This helps regulate your nervous system and can give you some mental clarity to help you process the feeling in other ways. You can add in some progressive muscle relaxation. Do a quick mental scan of your body. Notice where your body has instinctively clenched: jaws, shoulders, hands. One step at a time, consciously relax your muscles and let them go slack. Don't move on until each part of your body has relaxed. If you're struggling, try identifying some sensory anchors. Name 5 objects in the room you can see. For example, chair, table, rug, curtains, carpet. Name 4 things you can feel. Example, the floor is hard under your feet, your clothes are soft against your skin, your hair is tickling the back of your neck, your shoes are pinching your toes. Name 3 things you can hear. Example, police siren outside, the hum of the HVAC system, a dog barking. Name 2 things you can smell. Fabric softener on your clothes, someone's cologne or perfume. And then name 1 thing you can taste, like the aftertaste of your morning coffee. Often, pausing to notice these concrete details will get you out of your head and pause the churn of emotions so you can think more clearly about them. Reflect. Write down what runs through your mind when you feel that flash of anger, or use voice notes or whatever works for you. Something like, they don't respect me, or I don't matter to them, or they're doing it on purpose. And then challenge those statements. Ask yourself, is there evidence this thought is 100% true? Could there be another explanation? If you don't know for sure, that your instinctive assumptions are accurate, try reframing the situation. Replace "they're always out to hurt me" with "they acted in a way I didn't like. That doesn't mean they're malicious." Often, what we perceive as a deliberate personal slight is just someone else not considering your point of view for whatever reason. That doesn't make them malicious, just thoughtless. And that shift in how you think about it can help you adjust your response. Release. Write a raw, unfiltered letter about what you're feeling, or just the situation in general. Get everything down on paper, or in a voice note if that works better for you. It doesn't have to be clean, doesn't have to be structured, it doesn't even have to make sense. It's just whatever is going on inside you. Get it out. And then burn it safely. Toss it, flush it, or delete it. Just get rid of it. If writing or venting isn't something that resonates with you, then do something with your body. Notice where the anger sits. Tight chest, clenched jaw, and let that part move. Shaking, stomping, pounding a pillow. Go outside. Get fresh air. Touch grass, as they say. Feel the sunshine on your face. Go for a walk or a jog. Go to the gym. Ride your bike. Just move. Getting out of your head and into your body can help ground you and provide comfort and clarity. Redirect. For some people, emotions are easier to deal with when you can reason your way through them. That doesn't mean dismissing them. It's about examining them like you would any challenge and formulating a plan. So, try this. Define the challenge in front of you clearly. Name your feelings and where they came from. Brainstorm possible next steps. What will make you feel better right now and down the road? Pick 1 or 2 steps to try and do the thing. Check in with yourself and examine the result. Decide if it's working or if you need to try something else. If it helps, write down your chosen step on a receipt and fold it into your wallet. Every time you touch it, that's the spell renewing. Forgive. This isn't about forgiving someone or something that wronged you. This isn't about turning the other cheek. This is about forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for feeling what you're feeling. Give yourself permission to take up space. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Treat yourself like a valued friend who's worth care and grace. Hand over heart, name today's date, and say, "I absolve myself for feeling human." Out loud beats silent. Assess what's working and what isn't. When your eyeball's deep in the mess, it's sometimes hard to tell if what you're doing is really working or if you're just spinning your wheels, especially when things feel slow or even stagnant. Anger is something that can ebb and flow, and it's hard to tell if this is a bug or a feature of the system. So, take stock of where you're at. Here are some ways you can check. The intensity fades faster. You still get angry, but it doesn't hijack your whole day. You can name it without shame. "I'm angry" feels like a statement of fact, not a personal failure. You have choice. You notice the urge to lash out and the ability to pause or redirect. Resentment loosens. The memory of what happened still stings, but it no longer defines you. You act in line with your values. Anger becomes a compass for boundaries or change, not just an explosion. These are signs that you're controlling the anger rather than letting it control you. When you're dealing with extreme emotions like anger and you're trying to course correct while you're in the middle of it, it can be hard to find that sweet spot of just enough without being too much. So, how do you know if you're right where you need to be, or if you've gone too far, or not far enough? Well, let's check. Signs of overcorrection: too much suppression or reframing. You stop feeling it at all. If everything gets reframed into, it's fine, they didn't mean it, you may be bypassing rather than healing. The body keeps the score. Suppressed anger sneaks out as tension, headaches, stomach issues, or passive-aggressive behavior. Your boundaries blur. You tolerate harmful behavior because you've convinced yourself it's not worth being mad about. Flatness replaces fire. You feel numb instead of alive, like you've drained out your passion along with the rage. Signs of overindulgence or getting stuck in the loop. You rehearse the grievance daily. The story of what happened replays without moving forward. It defines your identity. You become the wronged one instead of a full person. Every new frustration feels like proof. Current events keep reigniting old resentments. Relationships suffer. Anger becomes your primary language with people you care about. Companion emotions. Anger rarely travels alone. Resentment often has grief, shame, or fear hitchhiking underneath. We're not digging into those today. They each deserve their own deep dive. But if you notice them showing up, you're not doing it wrong. That's just the full mess of being human. These things can often muddy the waters, but don't let them bog you down or derail your progress. Just notice them. You might find hurt, the wound beneath the fire. Or grief, mourning what you lost, like trust, safety, time, opportunity. Fear, the flight response masking vulnerability. Shame, I shouldn't feel this way, stacked on top of already feeling it. Disappointment, the quiet cousin of resentment. Loneliness, anger is a flare when you feel unseen or abandoned. All of these are totally normal, not a sign that you're doing it wrong. Trust yourself to do the work, let things surface naturally, and let yourself process what comes up at your own pace. Be patient with yourself. Processing anger can be a long process. You won't spend a single day writing in your journal and wake up tomorrow feeling fixed. Some days will be better than others. That's okay. It's part of the process. Sometimes you'll feel like you've made a lot of progress, and other times you'll feel like you're starting over from square one. It happens. And when it does, be kind to yourself. It's frustrating when you've put in the work and you just want to be done with it, only to have it surge up fresh and loud. Whether people talk about it or not, that happens to all of us. It's fine. Just remember to treat yourself the way you would a friend going through the same thing. Show up for yourself with care and compassion. Give yourself room to breathe. If one thing isn't working for you, switch gears and try something else. Or just let it ride for a little while. Let yourself feel your feelings without trying to manage them. And then try again when you're ready. It's all part of the process. It's all part of being human. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to stay curious, stay kind, and keep showing up for yourself when the embers start to flare again. Anger isn't a flaw. It's proof that something in you still believes things could be better. A quick note before you go. I'm not a therapist. I'm just another person screaming into the void trying to make sense of the mess. If you're in crisis, please reach out to a trained professional. Trauma and deep anger are serious, and you don't have to deal with them alone. There are people and resources out there who can help you find your way through safely. If you want to go deeper, I've created some companion materials for this article. Printable prompts, extended practices, and tools to help you keep working with what came up here. You can find those linked below. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing or subscribing. If something here resonated with you, feel free to share it in the comments. If you prefer the written version, you can find that over on the main blog. Or there's the video version over on YouTube. When the next flare hits, you don't have to douse it. Just imagine setting that tiny flame inside a glass jar, your personal lantern. You can't stop anger from existing, but you can choose what it lights up. Thanks for tuning in to Sacred Trash Talk. If this episode hit home, feel free to subscribe or leave a comment, or join the trash pile on Patreon for bonus content, tools, and materials. Until next time, stay trashy. Blah, 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 blah. First blooper for the reel. Oh my god, I'm dying again. Maybe water will fix it. Water fixes everything, right? Where was I? Fuck it. We're doing it live. You'll use it to... I'm really good at this. I'm so fucking good at this. I'm really good at reading. Should have been a voice actor, obviously.